Hi, welcome to Simply Made Fancy. I'm Ruth Angelina, and on Sundays we bake. And I'm working my way through this basket of apples after our apple picking trip. So let's go to the kitchen and see what we have to bake today. It's apple pie time in the Mercado home. We are working our way through our apple basket from our apple picking trip. And today I'm making one of my favorite things to make with apples is apple pie. And I'm making a version that it's kind of like a Dutch style apple pie, but I do a little bit of a twist to it. And it's like apple pie with apple crisp topping on top, and it's so delicious. It's like my #1 requested thing during this season from my family and friends. Once I discovered how to make apple pie, it's so simple and easy. You just need to know a few rules and then you'll have the most delicious apple pie ever. Let me tell you, my first apple pie was a disaster. I was a teenager and it was after our apple picking trip with our family, and I decided that I wanted to make an apple pie a la Martha Stewart. I got my recipe card, I got all the ingredients, and then I made this apple pie that I thought was going to be the most delicious thing and everybody was gonna applaud and give me an award. But it wasn't the case. I used the wrong apples, the wrong dish, and I didn't use the right proper crust. I didn't know any of the rules, but I'm gonna walk you through it and then you'll know what to do. First, you're gonna need, of course, the apples. And since we went apple picking, we have tons of them. This is the thing. You have to make sure you get the right apples for apple pie. You don't want an apple that's gonna make your apple pie watery, so stay clear of those. I'm using Honeycrisp apples, which tend to be a little bit on the watery side, but I'm also mixing it with Macintosh apples, like those nice red apples, or you can do Red Delicious as well, and that will give you an apple pie that's not so watery in consistency and just nice and gooey and soft and delicious. So first off, I'm gonna walk you through what you'll need for your filling for the apple pie. For this recipe, you're gonna need about 5 to 6 apples. It's about 5 to 6 cups of apples. So I kind of estimate that 1 apple is like a cup because they're not that big. If you have bigger apples, then you kind of have to measure for yourself how much you have. So that's what we're working with. Then the other dry ingredients that you're going to need is some white sugar, granulated sugar, and you're going to need about 1/3 cup, and then 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and then 1/4 cup of flour. So I have it all here ready to go. And I have my cinnamon. This is about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can add a little more if you want. And then you're gonna want to have some lemon juice as well. About a teaspoon or 2 is fine. This is way more than enough that I need. So this is for the filling. I cut my apples using my KitchenAid spiralizer. It makes it super easy and simple, and look how pretty they come out. Now I'm gonna set this aside so that the juices can kind of marinate while I get the other ingredients ready for the apple pie. And for my apple crumble topping, these are gonna be the ingredients that you're gonna need. And again, it's simple to remember because it's almost the same amount of sugar as you're gonna use for your apple pie filling, the same for the crumble. So it's 1/3 cup of brown sugar and 1/3 cup of regular granulated sugar. And then you're gonna need 1 stick of butter softened, 3/4 cup of flour, and 1/3 of rolled oats. I really can't say that word. You get my drift. Oatmeal. All you're gonna do is you're gonna dump all your ingredients and make sure that you wash your hands, get your rings off, and start working that dough. You might want to use a bigger bowl. I don't know why I use like the smallest one that I have in my kitchen for this, because you need a lot of room to kind of, mix it in together. But you get my drift. You're gonna wanna keep doing this If it's a little bit too soft, like too still like too buttery, you might want to add a little bit more of the flour and get it to a consistency that's like, I would say like little pearl balls a little bit. If you don't want to get your hands all sticky, you can probably use gloves or a pastry cutter. I'm just used to doing it this way. I don't know, it's like a little massage, but this is the consistency that you're going to need. We're going to set this aside. You can also put it in the refrigerator for a little bit if you want, so it can get a little bit, the butter can get a little bit firmer. If it's too softened, you don't want that. You want it just a little bit more firmer. I have to say that before you start doing your filling and your topping, you should always have your prepared crust ready to go. You can buy it at the store. There's tons of different brands that you can get pre-made. I make it myself because I feel like it's not that difficult to do. If I didn't have time, I will run to the store and do it. But by the time I run to the store to get pie crust, I can make it myself. And I use the Martha Stewart pie crust. It's fail-proof. It's what I've used for many years and it never disappoints. And I got it in this Food Everyday magazine. I don't think she even publishes this anymore, but the recipe is here, and once I discovered this recipe, I've never gone back. And I'll link this recipe below where you can find it. It's easily accessible online. One little trick that I do for my pie crust is after I've put it in my dish, I put the whole dish back in the fridge and let it chill and get a little bit firmer, because after you rolled it for a while, it starts melting down the butter, and you want your butter to be firm so you can get like that flaky, crispy, buttery crust. And now it's time to assemble, but before, make sure that you set your oven at 400 degrees. Ooh, look at this. It already smells delicious. Now, let me show you. There's a little bit of this liquid left over. I tend to not use it because I don't like a soggy pie, but you can sprinkle a little bit in your pie, but just make sure that it's not too soggy. Okay, I'm just gonna drip a little bit of it and that's it. Now time for the oatmeal crumble topping. And all you're gonna do is set little chunks of pieces all over. With this pie, you're getting like the best of both worlds, an apple pie and an apple crisp. Just make sure that you're doing it in little crumbly pieces and not patting it down on your dough. Ready for the oven. And it's gonna be in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your oven and how it works. Pie is ready, guys, come and get it.
Yeah!
I hope you get to make this apple pie recipe, and if you did, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Happy apple season, everyone!